Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I want to say I apologize for the last couple of videos. I didn't have a shirt on, and I was told by some people that I needed to put a shirt on, and so I need to be more professional and all that. So you know what? I said I can do that. So got my glasses on today, and we're gonna go through some games that I played most recently from today and yesterday, and I kind of had a good streak going. I had a good streak of some 5-minute games, and we're going to go through them so I can give more of a teaching here, because I realize that on a lot of channels everything is more broad based on teaching. So let's get into it. So first couple games here, most recent game, let's go over. I didn't do the review yet, so we can go over it for our first time together and see what we got here. So I was white. My accuracy was about 75%. And so that's usually around my normal accuracy. I may have some 80%, 90% games, but like I said, I'm learning too. Uh, Make sure you comment, make sure you like the page, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and let's get into it. Alright, so I started it off with the Queen's Gambit. It's my favorite opening. I don't like to play E4. I haven't played E4 in a long time, years. But we'll talk about that in another video. And so he didn't do the usual D4, D5, and looks like he's going to try to get into it here in a second on his next move, but we'll see. So I played my C4. He didn't do D5. He went B6, which is a book move. He's trying to Finchetti his bishop to get this diagonal here, this diagonal right here, which is a strong play. And moved up to E4. Pretty much I'm trying to establish my center. And so I can bring my knights out here. That's the idea. So I can control mainly these 4 squares. That's the most important part of chess, is controlling these 4 squares here, especially in the beginning. Alright, Finchetti this bishop. See, the computer is suggesting that I should have moved my bishop here, but the reason why I moved F3 is because I like establishing these 3 pawns here connected, because when he brings his knight out, it gives his knight less options, and so I figure it gives me more of a fight when they have less options, so that's why I picked F3. So he didn't bring his bishop out. You see he's lacking development over here, so it's going to take him a while to castle, which is why it's suggested that he move his bishop out. And so I moved my bishop out. It says I should have brought my knight out, but it's still okay. The eval bar still has me, looks like I'm winning just by a little bit. Alright. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Bringing my knight out. I'm preparing the castle. And he brings his bishop out. And see, now I've castled. And you see here, it's taken him quite a while to do that. But I don't really have an attack on that side, so it's still safe for him. I brought my bishop out. Said I should have brought my pawn up to create like a better pawn chain. Kind of similar to this one here. Man, I like that. It's a good idea. I'm not going to take that. Nope. I'm going to push that pawn. It didn't like it. Said I should have brought my knight up. It's just that I don't feel comfortable with me losing any pawns in the middle right now. But maybe that's something I need to learn in the future. Alright, here's the castles. I brought that pawn up because, yeah, my bishop is controlling the c5 square just in case that knight wants to come out here and attack my bishop. But I'd rather have my pawn there so he won't have to think about that knight move at all, you know what I mean? And if he wants to try to bring his pawn up twice, then, it kind of might throw him off and block his bishop some more, so we'll see. Alright. I took that. I wanted to move it up forward. I thought about that during the game. But I just decided to take that pawn because it always feels like whenever I see these pawns, or somebody makes an a5 move and attacks that side, it just always feels like it's a weak move not to take that pawn, because I don't want him to develop so much power over there and I get overwhelmed and I don't really have much of an attack. Alright, he takes. I move my knight out. I thought that was a weird move too. He moved his queen way over here, and granted he's coming for this pawn here, but I got my knight here and I can bring my queen up one. I got so much, and he doesn't have any attack here because I got this big old chain right here in the middle. See, I got this. So this is solid. And so I didn't feel no threat there. I wanted to attack this pawn here, even though I knew he was going to try to protect it either with that rook or his queen, but it was a wasted move, I agree. Move it back. So there he goes. Now I'm taking that knight because I don't like the knight there. Oh, no, I didn't. Moved it back. And it says it was a good move. Also says I should have moved my pawn up to a4. But I just wasn't ready to do that at that time, so. Uh-oh. This was the problem. I thought that he had an advantage now. Because now how am I going to protect this pawn? This pawn is going down some way, especially if he can manage to get his castle here and add more weight to the attack. So I moved the bishop back. Should have moved it there. But like I said, this is a 5-minute game. And I had plenty of time. It's no excuse. But I got cold feet. Now my pawn is pinned, because I can't move it out of the way because the bishop would take my queen. Don't want to have that. So now I'm in trouble, in a way. He moves his rook there. And so he's trying to pin my knight. So how do I unpin my knight? So what did I do? That was a bad move. But I was just trying to block the castle from pinning my knight. Yep. He moved back, and I was happy about that. Alrighty. So it says I should have moved my knight to b5. Reason why I didn't move the knight to b5 is because it didn't work out for me earlier, and it wanted me to attack his rook, but his rook still had some escape routes, and it just didn't feel like a strong enough move for me. So I didn't do it. Alright. Oh, it says he could have took my knight and got a free rook with the queen. Or a free knight. Oh, he missed it. I missed it too. Alright. Bring my castle up to add more protection to the a2 pawn. I'm taking that. Alright, now I really feel comfortable. I got my center. I got an open file here. And yes, he can attack it, but it will weaken his pawn structure, so we'll see. I moved the castle over to b2 because I wanted to put some pressure on this pawn here and see if I can get an angle with my bishop. But it says I had a chance to play something better by backing my knight up, which was a good point. Alright, he tries to attack the file so he can move his pawn up and pin this pawn from taking. But I got good structure here, so it's not going to work. So I moved out of the way initially and attacked this pawn here. He opens this up, which is something that I didn't expect him to do. And it says he should have attacked the pawn. Move my queen out of the way because, like I said, I wanted to put some pressure here. But it says I should have moved it over to b3 to add the pressure from there. I didn't want to take, as I don't need to take, because I have this pawn chain here. And so I just moved out of the way. And things are still going my way here. And I took with the knight because The knight really wasn't doing that much for me. I should have took with the pawn, but I'm going to end up taking it with the pawn anyway because he took with his bishop. I was taught to take from the side and never go towards and never take away from your chain, but this is telling me I should have took from that way. I just didn't want to have an isolated pawn, you know, even though I wasn't gonna, they were going to be connected, but it just felt like I'd rather have them all connected. Alrighty. It says this was a blunder. I allowed the opponent to eventually win material. Did he catch it? He did not. Move my bishop there. And so now we got a fight on this file here, on the A file. Who's going to win? We'll see. I know that if this castle moves, then I'm going to get this pawn, so I need to put pressure on this pawn somehow, but I needed to figure that out. So I moved the queen out of the way so I can try to get my castle, because so I can take with the castle first and have these two castles working to fight for the pawn. Back my bishop up. And see, now he's afraid that I'm going to come after this pawn, which is what I'm trying to do. And try to close it out. So now he's coming back to fight for this pawn. See, it's a big fight on this file. And so I moved there. Says I should have moved my rook back instead of the queen. That's okay. Alright, so now I'm like, well, let's trade rooks. Maybe I have a better opportunity with my queen on this file and some back rank stuff. So he moved this rook away. He didn't want to trade. And I moved my pawn up here to give my king some space just in case of a back rank make, even though it's not looking like it's possible. I just you know, anything could happen, so I just gave myself some time. Plus I'm getting close to running out of time, and so I needed some space. Oh, I said I allowed the opponent to kick a rook, probably with this pawn. But we'll see. He didn't do it. So now here's the fight. And it looks like I'm down just a little bit according to the eval bar. It looks like it's dead even. So, here's where things took a toll. He went ahead and took the pawn. I took the pawn. That was inaccurate, says I should have took the rook right back, but I wanted more of a fight because now we're down to time, and now here's where critical thinking can come into play. And I didn't think that he had enough time to critical think about knowing that this bishop is in danger if he moves his rook, or him trying to come down here and attack my queen and I move out of the way. What was his next option? Because he doesn't have a threat on the bishop like I have a threat on his bishop. So he took, I take the rook, and now I feel like I got a winning advantage because now he has to move his bishop out of the way. And yeah, he has this rook coming down here for the check, but there's not really a lot of power in it. And so he backed it up. And so now that's a free pawn for me. And took that. Now it's pretty much game over. But I almost blundered it. You see the guy has 28 seconds left. And I got a minute and 25, so I got plenty of time. But every time I get up, it feels like I blow the game. And, you know, a lot of players can think like that. A lot of players think like that. You know, when you got all this power, what do you do with it? Do you know how to win the game? And that's some training that I got to go through and teach myself on how to actually win the game, even when you're winning. You know, it's not always game over when you got up a piece. So, I thought that was a good move. He's coming after this, but I'm like, well, let me try to pin the bishop and see if I can win it over like that because I have this pin here. So, we'll see. I don't think he fell for it. He moved his king out of the way, which was a good move. And says I should have moved my rook here. Now, you see he's low on time. And me, it's a bad habit. A lot of players have this. It's just because your opponent is low on time, you feel like you low on time and feel like you got to move fast just because he's moving fast. And that's a very common mistake, and that's how you can lose the game. So you got to learn how to take your time, think it through, still, you know, remember that you are on the clock and your clock is moving, but just remember that, hey, if you got more time, take advantage of that. All right, so, oh, he gave up his bishop, and I was appreciating that. So give me that. Says that was a mistake. Huh. Oh, wow, he missed it. Give me that. But he didn't miss it because he was low on time and he was thinking too fast. All right, then I just go ahead and ended the game like that, and he resigned. But I got a few games like this. So that was just one of the good games, best games, one of the best games I played so far. Let's go back and get a good game here that I also played today. All right. Well, maybe I should save it for the next video. But I think that's what I'll do. So let's end it there. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you feel about some of those moves that I made, and how you feel about the Queen's Gambit, and you know, how time is always a pressure moment. But let me know your feedback. Once again, please like the video and remember to subscribe to the channel. All right.